here at the White House, and as you can see behind me, it's security all over the place. Absolute lockdown. What you can see, this is the parade reviewing stand for the president when he arrives. We're here in Lafayette Square Park. You can see Lafayette right there on his horse. And please excuse the disruption. The District of Columbia is coordinating with the National Park Service, constructing the 2025 Presidential Inaugural Parade Reviewing Stand. So this is the stand the parade's gonna walk by. You can hear music playing in the background and just lots of security. The entire area is on absolute lockdown. There's gonna be even more lockdown as this begins. Victory cannot be defined when President Trump wins the election. Victory is not defined when President Trump takes the oath of office. Victory can only be measured on President Trump's last day in office, looking backwards to make sure that we have achieved all of our deliverables, to make sure that we have achieved all of our goals, and that America has in fact been made great again. Someone who's coming on now that I'd love to join us from humanevents.com. He's a columnist there. It's Kenny Cody. You guys know him. You guys love him. What's going on, Kenny?
Hey, Jack, how are you, brother? You're absolutely right. It's everything that you just said, and I'm glad we were in like-minded spirits heading into the inauguration on Monday.
Well, look, people say, it's party time. It's we've won. We're never going to lose again. It's the sky's the limit. And okay, fine. That's great. Let's pop the champagne. Of course, we should celebrate our victories. But at the same time, we have to look to the fights ahead. Isn't that right, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, we can't pop the champagne bottles until the policies are done. I mean, there are still people in the deep state that are trying to ruin, the incoming presidency, the incoming administration. You have senators probably in the U.S. Senate that are trying to stop some of President Trump's nominees. That's why we need to keep the pressure on. There's going to be bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. still trying to stop President Trump's agenda. Neocons in the House, neocons in the Senate, all those who President Trump defeated in primaries, still a little bit petty, still trying to stop his agenda from happening in 2025 through the rest of his term. But that's why we have to keep going. We can't just pop champagne bottles. We cannot celebrate until the job is done. It's like any sporting event. Just because you have a 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter doesn't mean you're going to win the game. We have to absolutely carry out the agenda and ensure that President Trump's nominees get through. We have to give him a good surrounding cast. We have to ensure that bills like the Lincoln Rally Act that is going to be passed in the U.S. Senate and heading to President Trump's desk when he gets inaugurated next week are going to come to fruition. And we have to ensure that we're not caving on the principles such as mass deportations, tariffs, and other policies that are going to reform the deep state and reform the executive branch and every branch within the government. We have to ensure that we are getting those things done and setting him up for victory, setting him up to enact the policies that are going to change this country, that are going to change the government, and not just celebrate for weeks upon end, because he's not going to do that. He's going to do things on day one, sign executive orders and bills on day one, and the movement around him cannot just keep on celebrating for weeks upon months. We have to have action right now. Celebrate for a day, and let's continue the fight on January 21st.
And Kenny, look, here's the thing too. And people want to talk about this all day long. They say, why are you doing this? Why are you setting this up? Look, we're doing this because it is not political. It is not partisan. These are the necessary steps to save America. These are the things that must be done. And we have to have the resolve and the determination to actually see these things through. And there are going to be hard times ahead. There are going to be absolute hard times ahead because the pain will increase before things get better. And I want people to understand that. And I want people to understand and embrace that. The media will come at you 9 ways from Sunday. The establishment will come down at you. The lawfare will continue. There will be ways at the state level or not. By the way, Steve Bannon goes on trial in 1 month's time, folks. 1 month's time, Steve Bannon goes on trial. So let's cut with the Mickey Mouse Club and actually get down to brass tacks. This is a real fight. The fight has done. Go look at the MAGA movement. Go look at MAGA with the billions of dollars that's coming against them, and they think that RFK is just going to be able to walk into the United States Senate and get confirmed, or Jay Bhattacharya or Mark Marquet or any of them, and they say, oh, it's great, it's going to be wonderful. Look, guys, and I say this with love, I remember the TeaParty days. That's exactly how we felt in the TeaParty back in those days before we came to DC, started getting people elected, and then suddenly, oh, gosh golly, none of the policies that anyone espoused were actually getting enacted. Why? Because that's not how the imperial capital works, is it, Kenny?
No, it's not at all. I mean, there's a reason that the movement in 2016 and 2015 sent such a shockwave to Washington, was because it was actual change. But we still didn't get the change we wanted because of the bureaucrats in Washington and the deep state establishment that was ridden in Congress, in the bureaucracy, and in state governments. You know, President Trump doesn't just need support from Washington. He needs support from red states, needs support in states that he helped governors and state legislatures get over the finish line. He helped U.S. congressional members get over the finish line. He has to have help at all fronts. This battle is not over. It's just like you just said with the Tea Party. Everybody thought in 2010, 2012 that all of a sudden things were just automatically going to change. And people did get elected. They got in office, and we had some sort of facilitated change in defeating Democrats. But some of the worst enemies that we're going to have in our movement are going to be those who are nonpartisan